just called me old, but that's fine. That's what we do here.
It's love out here. NBA out here too. But welcome in everyone to the greatest financial podcast on the planet, NBA Unplugged. As always, today I am joined by the GOAT, Professor Young, and behind the camera, Mr. Ryan Mathis. Professor Young, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. It's a great day.
It is a great day, and part of that is because of these markets. These markets have been they've been booming. How you feel about them?
Well, you know how I feel about them. You were giving me a little bit of lip service about one of my choices.
Yeah. So a little background about our little conversation. Professor Young entered on a position here, and knowing me, I looked at the technicals. I looked at the chart. I'm saying, oh, is this a good investment? I look at the chart. I see nothing but red. Haven't seen a green candle in 2 years. But this guy right here wants to catch a falling knife. So he wants to enter long. But Professor, how was that position doing?
I was up about 25%, and I went on charge point because I believe that EV cars are the wave of the future, and we got to plug those puppies in.
That is true.
And no one wants to drive on Interstate I-10 or I-10, rather looking for a charge point.
Right.
No pun intended.
This is not financial advice. Take this with a grain of salt. But anyway, speaking of the markets, I know many of you already invest or are looking to invest, but maybe don't have as much background information as you would like. So today we are really just going to give you an overview of the main indices within the stock market, really just highlighting a few of the top ones that you can potentially invest in. So within the stock market, there are a lot of indices, but there are really like four main ones. So that's the S&P 500 or the Standard & Poor's 500, the Nasdaq Composite, the Dow Jones, and the Russell 3000. So Professor, if I were to ask you, which is your favorite?
S&P 500 all day.
And why would you choose the S&P over the other ones?
Well, because when you look at it over time, S&P has always delivered 10, 11, 12% in that range, and that's a good return.
Right.
And I can go to bed at night knowing that you got the highs are good, the lows, but at the end of the day, over time, it gets recalibrated back to where I need to be. Yeah. So if I was recommended, if I could recommend to anybody, I'd just do the S&P 500 because it's investing in great stocks, great companies that you know, and go to sleep. But there again, the risk is somewhat moderate. Yeah, I would say
it's tolerable now. Yeah. Compared to the Nasdaq, that's my favorite. So maybe that's a little bit of the old school, new school. So to break it down, the S&P 500 is the top 500 U.S. companies.
You just called me old, but that's fine. That's what we do here.
The Nasdaq Composite is made of high tech, big tech companies like Apple, Nvidia. So recently, last year, with the AI boom, as we know, companies like Microsoft, Nvidia, the Magnificent Seven, they really carried the market like by itself, literally. And the Nasdaq actually returned higher returns than the S&P 500. Now, over a longer time frame, this man's recommendation would be correct. But like I said, take this with a grain of salt. We were just presenting you with information. So, Professor, I want to do something here. So I know we have the S&P, the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, and the Russell 3000.
But hold on, I'm still stuck on you called me old though.
What? Don't take it personal. We know it's love. It's all love out here.
I got Ryan back here laughing too.
It's all love.
It's all right, love. Ryan, you're great. You're great, Ryan. So that's fine. Both of y'all. Not threat. No threat.
It's love out here. NBA Unplugged, going to the moon. But
go ahead.
So
seriously, go ahead.
So we have the S&P 500. I like to see. I'm gonna compare it to NBA players. Okay. I see the S&P 500 like I see like a Lebron. You know what you're gonna get every night. Is that a comparable? Is that comparable to you?
Yeah, that's your way of saying that LeBron's the GOAT. We're not going to have that conversation.
That is what I'm saying.
But at the end of the day, in a sense, to me, it's like Michael Jordan. That I know I'm going to get 30 every night. I know the last shot he's going to take is going to make it. At the end of the day, I'm going to bet on him. Yes, I'm going to bet on these stocks.
That's true.
I do agree. I think a lot of it has to do with where you are in your life. Now, if I'm in my 20s and my 30s, I'm going to add a lot more risk to that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to looking for stocks that have a lot more upside. but they're also going to have a lot more risk. But that's okay because I have time to make up those losses.
Such as the Nasdaq.
Such as the Nasdaq, exactly. So I'm going to do a little bit of mixture. But as I get closer to retirement, and old age like me, I want something that's a little bit more secure that I can count on. But I also still want to participate in the stock market too. Sure. I don't want to sit on the sidelines and just get past book savings, which is not that bad now. 4 or 5%. I think I looked at Goldman Sachs has savings at 5% or something like that. Wow. So
high interest rates.
5% interest rate, exactly. But it depends on where you are in your life, and I think that has a lot to do with it. So you're a young man, and Nasdaq, and I'm an old man, and
I'm younger. He's a young man.
But at the end of the day, it depends on that.
For sure. So I want to propose this scenario.
Sure.
So let's say someone is 60 years old.
Here we go again.
No shots are being thrown. Let's say someone is 60 years old, and they're just now looking to get in the stock market toward retirement. I apologize. Which indice would you recommend?
I still go by S&P 500.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So if
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. It depends on your risk tolerance.
That's right.
So like he said, with something with the Nasdaq, it's a potential for high return, but it's also a potential for high downside because you're so over leveraged within one sector, which is technology. Now, I know we don't give much love to the Dow Jones and the Russell 3000. Those are all similar to the S&P because they all have some of the top U.S. companies in their index, and they're diverse. So the difference between the Nasdaq is only tech. S&P, Dow Jones, and Russell 3000 is all sectors within that indice. So one sector may be down here, but another sector may be taking its ground. So I want to present this returns for you. So if we look back the last 5 years, my Nasdaq has returned 94%.
I knew this was next.
Now his S&P has only returned 64%. This is not investing advice. Take this with a grain of salt. The Dow Jones for the last 5 years, has returned 37%, and the Russell 3000 has returned 59%. So if we see the ones with lower growth also have lower risk for downside, though. That's the only thing. Now, if we look at the Nasdaq during this year, it's performing worse compared to a company such as the Dow Jones, the Russell 3000, because of over leverage within tech. But Professor, I wanna say, if you all learned something, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And if you think LeBron James is the GOAT, share this video with one person who you think should begin investing or learn investing. But from Professor Young, Mr. Young Man, S&P 500, Mr. Ryan Mathis, we'll see y'all in the next one.
Can I get a last word then?
What you want last word?
I just want to say this.
What's that?
I feel like I've been kind of cornered into the AARP section of life here.
Cellular?
And consumer cellular. Yeah, right. Cellular? No, I feel like it was a 60-year-old swipe. That's fine. I still look like I'm 40, but that's neither here nor there. But I feel like at the end of the day, you guys are pushing me in the corner, so that's okay.
It's never that.
I embrace my age because with age there's a lot of knowledge. It's a lot of knowledge.
That is true. Wisdom. I have a gray hair too. But
oh God, it just keeps coming.
I have a gray hair. We'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.
Bye.